today for exercise. Let's start out and just very gently do an exercise to get us ready for exercise, to make us feel better. If we'll just do a few exercises before the program comes on, this will help us to let our bodies know that we are about to engage in some exercise, and this will definitely help you. Now let's straighten up and do nice, easy little steps right in place. I hope you're feeling extremely good today. I hope you're feeling great about yourself and you're ready to do some exercise. Your fitness program starts right in your mind. Now let's start off today and work on our arms some. So I'm going to use my weights. If you have weights at home, by all means use them. And if you don't, if you have a couple of bottles of water or some cans of food, whatever you can use for weights, this will help you. Now when we stand, we pull in the abdominal wall. We want to tuck under right through our seat. And then we want to slowly bring our shoulders up and then back down. As we get older, we have to work on our shoulders. We have to work on posture. If not, it seems like everything in our body wants to head south. And next thing you know, our whole dispositions are heading south. So when we stand up and we pull in our abdominal muscles and we tighten up right through the seat area, it makes us look better. They tell us we can look 5 pounds thinner just by standing up straight. But it makes us feel a whole lot better. And we can say glory to that. Now just lift up there very carefully and hold it for a moment and then back down. That's it. It's a control lift, not done fast. That's it. Get a really good stretch. We're doing some really good exercise here to help you and make you feel better. As a matter of fact, I was reading this time an article about exercise, and they were telling us in this article that exercise is important for the young and for the old. And the reason it's so important for the young is because actually you get your peak bone mass by the time you're 30 years old. You've developed all of your peak bone by the time you're 30. So if you don't exercise during those years, you see you're not developing all that peak bone mass that you need. Now let's relax our shoulders for a moment, and this time with our knees still bent, shoulders back, abdominal wall pulled in, we want to pull up like this and then back down. But they tell us after the age of 30, you start to lose bone mass. And that's why it's so important to do exercises and take steps to prevent bone loss as you get older. By the time that you get as old as 50 years old, you really need to be doing some exercise to build up your strength. And one reason for doing that is to help prevent you from having a fall. You see, when you exercise, you strengthen your muscles, and this helps to prevent falling. So it's real important to do exercises that strengthen your leg bones and your hip bones and even your upper body, like lifting some weights. They were telling us the best exercises to do, of course, are weight-bearing exercises. Weight-bearing exercises. Now let's lean forward this time. We'll be leaning right forward, have the weights up in front, and then pull them up behind you and then back down. That's it. Keep your elbows in close to your side. We're working that underarm flapper section that wants to wave, and we don't want that to happen. No. But weight-bearing exercise is so important. Now, what is weight-bearing exercise? Well, walking is a weight-bearing exercise. Jogging is really a good weight-bearing exercise. Stair climbing is a great weight-bearing exercise. And these exercises help to build up the leg bones. And like stair climbing really does good things for your hip bones to build them up. They tell us that sports or games, organized games, are good for weight-bearing exercise because you're usually running around and doing different things, even like tennis or volleyball, things like that. That's it. Now, we're working that muscle. Yes, we won't be flat. They will be firm today. That's it. Right up there behind you and then back down. That's it. Nice and easy. and then up there. Now, as you ease back up, bend your knees, and then slowly come all the way back up like this. All right, let's work on our waist a little bit today. While we're standing, the waist responds to good exercise. I'm going to place my weights behind my head and have them touching. But if you don't use weights, just touch your fingertips back there. But pull your shoulders back. Then slowly come over on one side and then back up. And get the best stretch in there that you can possibly do. That's it. Well, are you looking out for those trans fatty acids that are added, the trans fats that are added to processed food? We really have to watch out for them. They're really bad for you. What they do is they increase your cholesterol, the LDL, the bad kind, they make it go up. The good HDL, now that one you want to go up, but the trans fat bring that one down. And then they also increase your risk of having a heart attack. Well, the name for these fats is partially hydrogenated oils. Whenever you see anything on a food label that says partially hydrogenated so-and-so oil, then you be very, very careful. The reason is because that is trans fats, and it does a lot of bad things to your body. As I just told you, it raises your overall cholesterol, it reduces your good HDL cholesterol, makes that go in the wrong direction, and then of course it increases your heart attack risk. So that's something to think about. Now let's do another waist exercise with the weights right in front. The knees are bent. We want to pull up on one elbow and then right over there on the opposite side. In one study that was done of 400 people, they studied their diets and determined how many trans fats they were taking in, and they found out that the heart attack risk in that group was twice as high as it was in the individuals that had the lowest amount of trans fat in their diet. So the ones that had heart attacks with the high trans fat diets, twice as many people had heart attacks. And they said the one good news about trans fats, if you stop eating them, your body will clear them out of your system at the rate of 15% per year. So that's definitely good news. Now that's it. You're doing great with your exercise. Wonderful. So read your food labels and see what you're taking into your body. And they tell us the real place where they hide these things is processed food, like packaged things like cookies and cakes and pies, things that are packaged like that. But also I was surprised to read about whipped toppings many times. Cereal is a place where they hide trans fats. Also, the energy bars, I was surprised to see that, but then I started reading some labels and I found out there it was partially hydrogenated oils, which had been added. Another source was the non-dairy coffee creamers. Yes, so you got to watch out for those too. Just be a real label reader and don't let them pull anything on you. You'll have all your bases covered. Well, while we're standing today, I want to have our feet apart right at hip level. We want to cross our arms across our chest, and we want to take that pretend seat. So let's lean slightly forward and then come down and then just hold it right there, just like you were reaching for that park bench, and then back up. This is to work on our lifters so we can get ourselves out of chairs and do all the things we have to do. That's it. Slowly now, press your feet in and let your thighs lift you. Don't let the lower back lift you. Make sure that you use your thighs. You want to press right off. See, when you keep your hip bones strong, you're less likely to have a fracture, a broken hip. And we have to keep ourselves strong as we get older, that's for sure. That's it now. Just lean slightly forward, then come down. Just reach for that park bench. Just hold it for a moment. And then back up there. Real important to do exercises for our lifters. Are you able to get up off your church bench without having to reach for the pew in front? Well, if you have strong abdominal muscles, you can do that. You can jump right to your feet and you don't have to use your hands to help you get up. And I've been amazed at my viewers over the years that would write me and say, Beverly, I can now get up off my church pew bench without using my hands on that bench in front. So you can do it if you just stick with me and do as many exercises as you're able. And then if you'll just start off slow, do a few, do what you're able, build your body up slowly. After a while, you'll be able to do more and more. Now you see this show number, it's 415. Make a note of that. You might need to know which program you were watching today. Now we're seated now, so let's reach for the ceiling. Fold your body forward. Come as low as you can, but don't force. Don't bounce. Just hold it. Then stretch right back up. Pull yourself out of your own hips. Wonderful. And then come down there. Hold it. Then stretch back up and stretch right through your fingertips as you bring your arms down. Now working on our waist, let's reach for the ceiling and come down to the right, then out to the center, and then right over to the left. And stretch up there. Lift yourself as you come back down. You'll see our address and phone number and website and email and all that information we put up for you from time to time. And you might need to make a note of that. In the event you want to contact me, you'll know how to do that. Now lift, pull over, stretch, right out to the center, and then right over, and then back up. Now this time we'll pull straight up and we'll go in the opposite direction. Just nice and easy. Right out to the center, then right over, and then up. Now pull up out of your waist and stretch so you really feel it. Yes, these stretching exercises are just wonderful.
Yeah.
The muscles pulling on the bones, strengthen the bones. You want to keep your muscles strong as you get older because they are the shock absorbers to protect your bones from breakage. I took a terrible fall a couple of years ago. I had been on my treadmill, and I don't know whether the phone rang, something happened that I had to get off. And what happened was, I thought I had paused my treadmill, but when I stepped back on, it was still running. And I stepped back on it casually, thinking that it wasn't running, with the wrong foot to catch myself. And when I did that, it threw me up in the air. It threw me into a bookcase where I had all my shows, you know, different ones, and probably 10 tapes in for each shows that I had done. Well, when I hit the bookcase, I broke off three shelves of tapes. They came crashing down on top of me, on top of the treadmill. The treadmill is still running, and I am trapped between the treadmill and the bookcase that had the tapes. Now let's pull up and then out. Well, to make a long story short, I managed to get myself together enough to work my way out and cut the treadmill off. And of course, I take Fosamax and all kinds of take 2 bone medications plus calcium and all kinds of things to build up my bones. So you'd think a person that took a terrible lick like that, because it threw me up in the air, then it crashed me right down on my left hip. Praise God, all I had was a couple of little bruises. I said, I'm like that watch. I took a licking and I kept on ticking, but we give God all the glory. But I believe with all my heart it was these 35, 37 years of constant exercise, and because I have a lot of muscle mass, and I believe my muscles are what kept me going and no broken bones. But I said, glory to God. We gave God all the praise. But I learned one thing. Now let's come down, work abdominal section. We want to exhale and slowly come up. Now if you're starting off and you have weak abdominal muscles, you can start up like this and just roll back as far as you can and hold, and then roll back up. See, come back as far as you can and hold, and then back up. But for my viewers that are been working with me for a while and you're able to do this, You want to exhale on the hardest part. You do not come very high. Just a little raise. That's it. That's it. Just nice and easy will do it. But let me just remind you that treadmills can be very dangerous. That's why you never want a child to be playing on one. Don't allow your friends, children, or any children at all, because there have been some dreadful accidents with treadmills. But for adults, let's be very careful of what we're doing when we're using them. Make sure that they're off before you step back on. Look at it. See if it's, running. I can tell when mine's going now that I've had an accident, and I know to watch out for it. And just be really careful, because a lot of times the things that really do cripple us and cause us major health problems are accidents. We can't afford to leave rugs just lying around, not secured. We can't really afford to get up at night without having some kind of a little light on so you can see where you're going. Be careful when you come down the steps and hold on to the rail, because you don't want an accident. That's it. You're doing a good job with your work. And then up there, wonderful. Now we'll take a pause for a worthy cause and just have a drink of water. It's always good to have some water. Now, still working on the abdominal section. This time, we'll do a little rolling technique. Exhale, raise one knee up, come back, then exhale and raise the other one. That's it, nice and easy. That's it. Well, I told you about a new book last time. It was a slow cooker cookbook. And it's absolutely wonderful. It has healthy recipes in it. They are easy to fix. And it's called Fix It and Forget It. And when you order that book from me, make sure you ask for the Slow Cooker Cookbook. Slow Cooker Cookbook. Because, I have a cookbook I did, and I'll get confused if you don't put it. But it's Fix It and Forget It lightly. They have all the calories listed. They just tell you everything as far as your health goes. And I have made about 10 things out of it, and everything that we have fixed has turned out great. It is one wonderful cookbook. Now that is $20, $2 shipping when you ask for it. But remember, you call it a slow cooker cookbook, so I won't get it mixed up. That's it. You did great. Wonderful. Now, let's come back down on that back. Bring your knees up. Give them a little hug. Just nice and easy. Hug your knees right in. That's it. That's great. Now let's strengthen our back by rolling up one vertebra at a time and lift and tighten, and then slowly come down one vertebra at a time. Great. And then roll up there again and lift and tighten. Just really grip your stomach muscles, and then back down. All the way back down, and pull your stomach right into your backbone. This helps to strengthen your lower back. Now also, to strengthen your lower back, just bringing one knee in, that's it, and stretching out the opposite leg, and then on the opposite side. Whenever I'm doing more exercises than you can do, you just come right on back and you start doing more for your back strengthness, and that'll work for you. Now, still working on the abdominal section without legs raised this time. We want to pull up and touch and then come back down. It is so important for men to get checked for prostate cancer. This is especially true if you are 50, if you have family members that have had prostate cancer, or if you are African American. It's very, very important to get checked for it. And when you first get checked, it's a simple test. A PSA test is done. And prostate cancer is curable when it is caught real early. So if you have family members that have had prostate cancer, you need to, get yourself checked early in life. Or if you're African American, real important. Now come back in, just pull your knees right in. That's it. Now let's do our crisscross, bringing one knee in and then the opposite. That's it. Nice and easy. Oh, what a great stretch to do wonderful things for you. That's it. Nice and easy. We'll take care of it. Wonderful. You're just doing great, too. You just be encouraged. That's so important, to be encouraged. And over. Wonderful. Then to bring your knees back in. When your back hurts, just take time then to do a back strengthener, and that will help you. It really will. Now let's come over and do some leg lifts. It's important to work on our legs. And today we'll start with our toes. Just point it right down there and do a leg lift up and then back down. It's just great the way doing exercises as simple as leg lifts, how they help you. Yes, they help to develop those nice leg muscles so that you keep your legs strong. And also your hip bones. So important as we get older. Now exhale. You want to inhale on the easy part of the exercise and exhale on the part that's the hardest. So that would be raising your leg back up. Wonderful. You're doing fine. You be encouraged. If you can't do them all, that's fine. You just do what you're able. Yes, well, I wanted to share some things with you today. And today, my spiritual input here is from Psalm 5:3. My voice shall thou hear in the morning. O Lord, in the morning will I direct my prayer unto thee and will look up. In the morning, direct your prayer unto the Lord. It is so important to get in touch with the Lord because His Word, His truths, and speaking with Him will just energize you for the day. It'll put you on the right path, and then you can recall what you read, and then you can use that. When Satan comes against you, when trials come at you and things, you can remember, early in the morning, I will look up and I will direct my prayer to the Lord. And we know He hears our prayers and He cares about us. And when we seek His Word, He gives us truths. He gives us His truths. Now let's go over on the opposite side. Nice and easy does it. That's it. Yes. Legs together, straight legs, pointed toes. Exhale as we lift up, then inhale as we come back down. That is great. I know the other day I was going through a situation myself, and I could feel myself just filling up with anxiety and things racing in my mind. What if? And I caught myself, no, Beverly, you don't go there. And I thought about Philippians chapter 4, and I thought about what I studied and learned when I was having such terrible anxiety a few years ago. And I remember the first thing I learned in there was rejoice. Then He tells us again to rejoice, and when God tells you something twice, He means it. Then He tells us to let your moderation be known unto all men. And I thought, the Lord does not want me into excesses. He doesn't want me into excessive worry. God does not approve of that. So I remembered I was to rejoice, and I was to rejoice again, and put on praise music. Thank Him for all the things that He's done up to this point. Tell Him that you know He's going to carry you through this situation as well. And then don't get into any excessive thinking, excessive worrying, anything else. You have to cast your care and leave it with the Lord. And then I remember that great promise from Philippians. Let's go over in our abdominal section. I said, and lift the left leg with a pointed toe. That great promise that when we call on God, and we do that with thanksgiving, and when we do that when we're going through great trials and great troubles, we call on the Lord, and we do it with thanksgiving because we know what He's brought us through before, that we get that peace of God which passes all understanding, and it fills our minds and our hearts through Christ Jesus. So I start recalling those scriptures and thinking and praising God instead of getting filled with excessive worry. Now let's do the right leg. And worry doesn't do any good. You know, worry is interest paid on trouble before it's due. I read that once and I thought, boy, I don't want to pay any interest before it's due. And God doesn't want us all worried and upset. He wants us to cast our care and leave it with Him, leave our burdens with Him, because He wants us to have that triumphant life. I am so thankful to know that. Now let's tighten up, lift both legs, and do a good backward scissors. We have to work on our seat muscles. Yes, we really do. That's so important. Well, I was reading something the other day that's kind of cute I wanted to tell you about, and it said how to take a pill. Do you just dump all the pills in your mouth at one time and take a big gulp of water and pray they all get down the right pipe? Kind of throw your head back a little bit? Well, they said don't throw your head back. You could get choked on your medication, and it could go down your windpipe there, and it's very, very dangerous. Well, how do you take your medicine? They told us that too. One pill at a time with a great big mouthful of water, plenty of water with each one. And do that all the way through, one at a time. Take a little extra water at the very end. And if you need something to kind of clear your food tube, a piece of banana is just wonderful for that. So I thought, well, we have to constantly learn new things, and even how to take our medication, we have to remember it. Now come on down. Now when you come up, remember you to bring your knees up to the side. Come on up in a seated position. Have legs right up in front of you. Have a smile on your face, I hope. Straighten your back up. Put a little smile on your face, and let's work on that chin. I always tell you, one chin per customer. That's all we need. I hope I'll hear from you. I hope you'll write to me, that you'll buy something from me. You know, I have a website. Tells you about all my tapes and books, things of that nature. Or if you'd like to make a tax-deductible donation, oh, I'd love that if you'd help me. We use the money to tape new programs, to pay a satellite fee right now, and that's it, just to run the ministry. But I'm so thankful the Lord's allowed me to do this for so many years. I'm thankful to be your helper, and I pray in everything that you do that God will richly bless you.
Introducing Beverly's all-new videotapes. To get you started, the beginner. For a more challenging workout, it's the Total Body Fitness. Or if it's hips and thighs that need attention, the Hip and Thigh Solution. Each tape is $25. Or better yet, order the complete package for $100, which includes all 3 of these powerful new video workouts, plus Beverly's 3 best-selling books. And as a special gift, the complete and up-to-date Fat Book, which includes over 30,000 foods listed. Start today on that road to better health. The cost, $100. Call 864-225-5799. All major credit cards accepted. Write Beverly, P.O. Box 5434, Anderson, South Carolina, 29623. Or visit us at www.beverlyexercise.com. Join Beverly again as we bring honor to God by caring for our bodies.
Lazy bones, loafing through the day. You always seem to find the easy way, moving like you roll this way. Never heard a word I say.
All over America, entire families are backsliding. We're no longer just sedentary, we're stationary, and that's bad news for your bones. At any age, bones need weight-bearing activity to grow strong and stay strong. So go outside, take the steps, play with the dog. Just get up, get out, get moving.
Never keep your bones that way. Never heard a word I say.
A public service message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Find out how to use an awkward silence to help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
You are watching Life Christian Broadcasting Network on KSCE Channel 38, serving El Paso, Texas, Las Cruces, New Mexico, Ciudad Juarez, KBBA Channel 14, serving Alamogordo, New Mexico, KGSC Channel 33, serving Cheyenne, Wyoming, and surrounding areas, serving Christ everywhere.
We invite you now to join with us for the Word for Today, originating from Calvary Chapel in Costa Mesa, California, with Pastor Chuck Smith. Our desire is to know Christ and to be conformed into His image by the power of the Holy Spirit.
Oh, let
The Bible speaks of the blessings that come to the person who will delight himself in God's Word. This is more than just hearing and understanding. It means we joyfully live our lives according to what we have learned. The ministry at Calvary is dedicated to the teaching of God's Word and its practical application to our lives. Let's join the service already in progress as we study the Word for today.
This morning, we'd like to draw your attention to Acts chapter 12 tonight. As we go through the Bible, we will be studying chapters 11 and 12. But this morning, we'd like to look at the first two verses of chapter 12, where we read, "Now at that time Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church, and he killed James, the brother of John, with a sword." Persecution had been growing against the early church. Herod had become the king, and wishing to sort of ingratiate himself with the Jewish leadership, he began to persecute the church. He thought that he would wipe out the leadership of the church. And so he ordered that James, the brother of John,